In our previous session, we introduced the foundation of marketing research, its definition, scope, role in decision-making process, and ethical considerations. Today, we take an important step forward by exploring the research design. Research design is often described as a blueprint of study. Just as an architect needs a clear plan before constructing a building, researchers need a design to guide how data will be collected, analyzed, and interpreted. Without a strong design, even the most enthusiastic research project may collapse under confusion or bias. By the end of today's lecture, you will be able to explain what research design means and why it is critical. You will be able to differentiate between exploratory, descriptive, and causal research designs. You will be able to outline the steps in designing the research study. You will be able to appreciate the importance of clearly defining the problem before starting research. Let us first discuss about the understanding of research design. Research design is overall plan or the structure that specifies how the data will be gathered and analyzed to answer the research questions. It ensures that the evidence obtained is relevant to the problem at hand and uses the resources effectively. Think of this in this way. If a marketing research is a journey, the research design is its map. It tells us where to start, which route to take, and what destination we hope to reach. Now let us discuss why the research design matters. Research design matters because it ensures the clarity of purpose, saves time and resources by focusing efforts. It increases the reliability and validity of data and its findings. It provides us a logical structure for decision making. Now let us discuss the types of research design. There are several types of research design which we will going to discuss step by step. Number one, exploratory research. The exploratory research, as the name specifies, it is used to explore new ideas, identify problems, and generate ideas with little information is available. The methods through which we can conduct exploratory research is by reading literature reviews, by being the part of focus groups, and conducting the in-depth interviews or reading to the case studies. For example, a Pakistani startup wants to launch a plant-based milk product but knows little about the customer acceptance. They conduct focus groups to understand the perception, cultural barriers, and potential market segments. The second type of research we are going to discuss is descriptive research. The purpose of descriptive research is to describe the characteristics of a population or a market segment. It answers the questions like who, what, when, where, and how. The methods through which we can conduct descriptive research includes surveys, observational research, or secondary data analysis. Now we are going to take the example for descriptive research. We think that a clothing brand like Khadi will conduct a nationwide survey to profile the buyers by their demographics like age, gender, shopping frequency. The goal is not to test the cause and effect but to paint the picture of current situation. The third type of research we are going to discuss is causal or experimental research. The purpose of causal research is basically to test the cause and effect relationship between two variables. For example, this research basically tests how and in which way one variable causes effect onto the other variable. For example, we can test the impact of job satisfaction on employee performance. You can also take the example of Food Panda. Food Panda wants to know if offering free delivery will increase its number of orders or not. They basically want to test the cause and effect relationship between the sales or number of orders and free deliveries. What they are going to do, they will offer free deliveries to one segment of customers, and they will not provide free delivery to other segment of customers. They will then compare the results and get insights uh, by having a look at the causal relationship between the compared findings. Now let us discuss the step 3. Steps in designing the research study. This is the part 3 of our lecture. In this part, we will be discussing the steps in designing the research studies. Designing the research studies involve steps like number 1, we define the problem and objectives. First of all, we need to identify the problems. That's why it's the step number 1. For example, a bank wants to know why young customers are not using the mobile app. Then we will go to the next step. Based on the problem, we will choose the research design. Either we are going to conduct exploratory research, descriptive, or causal research, as discussed earlier. And then in the step number 3, we will identify the data sources from where we are going to collect the data, either from primary sources like surveys or focus groups, or the data will be collected through secondary sources like already published data, industry reports, etc. Then in the next step, we will select the sample we are going to test. We will decide whom to study, which sample to take, either students, household, businessmen, and how they will respond. After selecting the sample, we will design the research instrument. So let us have a glance at what is the research instrument. We will create questionnaire. We will ask certain set of questions to each respondent, and we will collect the data from each respondent separately by distributing either the questionnaires online or via the physical note. Uh, after after the research instrument phase, there comes planning the data collection. That how we will going to collect the data. Once the questionnaire is made, we will see either we are going to distribute it physically, or it will be an online face-to-face service, or through telephonic information. When the data collection phase is also over, next steps involve data analysis. In the data analysis phase, we perform different statistical tests to that data collected uh, via questionnaires, either through online mode or physical mode. The data collected through questionnaires will be entered into a statistical tool, and we will apply certain tests like regression, or we will apply regression analysis to find out the relationship between the variables. For example, suppose a telecom company wants to launch a 5G package. Now we are going to apply the whole process. Number 1 is problem identification. What is the problem here? The problem is how to price and promote the 5G package. And next step is design. Design is a we can use the combination of descriptive and causal like experiments. In the next step, we will take sample. For example, the telecom company may take young adults in urban areas as a sample. And in the last step, uh, the data will be um, will be collected through online surveys. Now, after this, Let us have a glance at the importance of problem statement. What is the problem statement? Before any design, the problem must be clearly stated. A poorly defined problem leads to wasted effort, irrelevant data, and misleading conclusions. For example, a retail chain thinks that sales are falling due to poor advertising. But deeper problem definition shows that real cause, lack of product availability in smaller towns, is the real problem. If the research had only studied ads, the true issue would always be remain hidden. Now, let us discuss tips for good problem statement. To generate a good problem statement, engage decision makers, clarify the research purpose, distinguish between the symptom and root causes, ask the question like why this decision will, what decision will this research support. So, as I elaborated earlier, a clear problem statement is one that clearly defines the problem so that we can reach to the potential solution. To summarize the today's lecture, we can say that research design is the blueprint of study, guiding how the information is collected and analyzed. We talked about exploratory research. Exploratory research help gain insight when the knowledge is limited. That's why we explore more and more. Then comes descriptive research. Descriptive research describes the market characteristics. Then comes the causal research. As I explained earlier, it tests cause and effect relationship. In designing a study involves defining the problem, choosing the design, sampling, data collection, and at-time analysis. Always remember, research design is about making the right tool to the right question. An ill-fitting design is like using hammer when you use a screwdriver. Where to use a screwdriver? It won't solve the problem. So, thank you so very much for your attention. In our next lecture, we will discuss sampling, its methods, importance, and how to ensure the representation.